We'll run through that scenario again, but this time we'll add in motivational interviewing stages. Okay, so that's your tablet sorted out, and I've given you an information leaflet about high blood pressure. I want to ask you whether it's okay to just spend a couple of minutes talking about something completely different. Would that be okay?
Yeah, okay.
Asking permission will help a lot.
What's that then?
It's about exercise.
All right.
Would you mind if we chatted about that, if I promise not to nag you?
Well, as long as you keep that promise, yeah, that's fine.
The focus is clear, but engagement is not strong yet. Okay, rather than me talk about it, could you tell me how you feel about getting more exercise?
Well, to be honest, I hate the thought of it.
Okay, so you're not persuaded about this one. That's a reflective listening statement, not a question.
Well, I know that it would help my health.
Change talk.
But the effort's really too much for me at the moment.
Okay, you get quite a lot done each day, and so adding exercise doesn't seem like it could fit in. Another reflective listening statement.
Yeah, I mean, you've guessed right. I mean, I don't sit around all day, but the thought of going to the gym just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, so going to the gym isn't for you, and you're busy enough, but yet you know that it'll be good for your health to get more exercise. Have I got you? A summary that also includes the change talk.
Yeah, you got me for sure.
Engagement is much better as a result of listening and then summarising. Okay, so can I ask you a bit more about how you feel the benefits of, say, a slow, steady increase in exercise?
Well, if it was slow and I didn't have to go to the gym, then that might be okay.
Change
It
would make you feel healthier. A listening statement again to reflect the change talk, and it's also a guess as to why it might help.
Sort of, and at least I could fit it in, and I might then succeed, and that might make me feel better about it.
More change talk. I see you don't want to go to the gym, that's a big task, but maybe you could fit something smaller to start with. Reflecting again, trying to understand how he really feels.
If I decide to do it and I haven't decided yet.
Patient backs off. I can see you don't want to be pushed into this. Doctor doesn't try to win the argument or be clever, but just use a listening statement.
Well, exactly. But I'll think about it, and thanks for not lecturing me, Doctor.
Okay, so I've checked your blood pressure today, and I want to see you in about 6 weeks' time, because it's a little bit borderline. And we talked a little bit about how maybe increasing exercise might be helpful for you, and I think it actually might reduce your blood pressure a little bit. So maybe we could talk a bit more about that when we see you in 6 weeks.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you.
Thanks for coming back. I saw you about 6 weeks ago, didn't I?
Yes, we're talking about blood pressure. I've just had it taken with the nurse.
Yeah, she just told me that it's still a little bit on the high side, so we need to think about how we can bring that down.
Right. I'm not really one for tablets, Doctor, if I can avoid that.
Okay, that's fine for now. But can we talk a little bit about maybe exercise, if I promise not to lecture you?
Well, fair game. You didn't lecture me last time, so yeah, fine.
I promise I won't this time either.
I believe you again.
What about simple steps that you could do? Maybe bring into exercise as part of your daily routine?
Yeah, I'm glad you're not talking about the gym.
I know, I'm sure that's going to be too drastic for you.
Reflective
don't do
listening. Drastic. Life's busy enough.
But what about smaller things? That might be possible. Reflective listening again, a guess at what might work.
I'm not really sure what you mean by smaller things.
Well, you could take up some sort of sporting pastime, swimming, badminton, tennis, playing golf. You could incorporate it into your work. You said that you work on the 3rd floor in an office. Maybe take the stairs rather than going up the lift. And you also said you took the bus into work. Maybe you could get off a few stops earlier and then walk the last bit, if it's not raining. Reinforcing autonomy is a critical feature of skillful consulting about behaviour change.
Okay, well, I'm not really the sporty type, and those the same reason not going to the gym. I haven't really got time to fit this in. But getting off a few stops before work off the bus, that sounds like a good idea. I never thought of that. And yes, of course, I could use the stairs in work instead of the lift. Yeah.
Patient emits change talk. So you can see a way of doing some simple things.
Yeah.
The best response to change talk is a simple reflection.
I could do that. And I suppose if I got on well with that, I could do the same on the bus on the way home and get off the bus early on the way back.
More change talk. I think it's a question of experimenting and finding out what's best for you, what works for you. More reflection.
Well, I'm happy to try those two things.
Change talk. Okay. So if I can just summarise, you don't want tablets, but you think you might be able to walk up the stairs at work and get off the bus stop a couple of stops earlier and maybe pick it up a couple of stops later.
Yeah, well, knowing me, I think that's something that I could actually do. And if I did that, I might feel a bit better about myself, and of course it might help me.
Change talk. Okay, would you mind coming back in about 6 weeks' time and we can chat a bit
Yeah,
more?
and because I've got my blood pressure again. Thank you very much, Doctor.